這一場談，我哋翻嚟繼續同我哋嘅司政兼律政廳長蘇安同 Suzanne Anton 嚟傾下呢個Civic Resolution Tribunal. Thank you. You have explained to us in general all the three stages. Let's talk about the other than the Strata Council, which we will come back again, but the Strata Council, other than that, the small claims. What are the small claims? How to define it?
So, BC, supposing you bought a car from your friend. The person might not be your friend anymore because they sold you a car and they forgot to tell you it had been in an accident. So you think you paid over $1,000 more than you should have paid for the car. And you want your friend to give you back that $1,000 because you think that it was unfair of him to not tell you that about your car. That's a small claim. That's when you believe somebody owes you some money in court under $25,000. Then you can go into small claims court. A more simple process, more proportional to the problem. That's what's important here is proportionality. What we're going to do is put the small claims into the Civil Resolution Tribunal. We're going to start with small claims. We haven't settled on the final amount yet, but it'll be a fairly low amount in the order of, say, $5,000. And it'll be claims under that will go into the Civil Resolution Tribunal. So you think your friend owes you $1,000? You can sit down at 7 o'clock at night. You don't have to take time off work. You don't have to go down to the courthouse. You can turn on your computer. And again, you can go in and investigate your own problem, your own dispute.
Just like you said, the first stage is they will ask you a lot of questions so that you know if this is a case or not.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. So you will know if you actually have a claim. And it might say to you, have you written to your friend? Have you phoned him and said he owes you some money? Because as a first step, that's really not a bad first step, is letting the other person know. And so it will take you through those initial steps.
That sounds like Judge Judy's program. It's all the little disputes that won't take too much of the tax money to solve it.
But we're not going to involve Judge Judy too early. So in the first part, you're going to educate yourself as to your own problem. Mm-hmm. But then if you can't get it resolved, then you'll go to the next piece, which is a facilitation, where a facilitator will say to you, hey, maybe you have, they may say to you, you know what, I think your case is not very likely to succeed. And you might say, okay, you're right, I give up. Or they may say, well, you probably need to carry on. That's what the facilitator is going to try and help find a solution. Mm-hmm. But they're trained mediators. But if that doesn't work, then you have the adjudication, which is more like a judge. They're not actually judges, but they're trained adjudicators, and they will come to a decision as to whether or not your friend owes you the $1,000.
Who are these people? Who are these adjudicators? They are hired by the provincial government.
They are.
And their job is to read all these things and type you back and tell you all these. Yeah. Not Judge Judy.
It's not a judge, but they're trained, they're lawyers, and they're very, very capable people who understand strata. As a matter of fact, they might not all be lawyers, but they're people in the strata case who have a very good understanding of strata matters. And in small claims, they are all lawyers, and they're, again, very highly trained people who understand how to resolve disputes and understand the legal issues around small claims.
Okay, so the one thing important is that when you are so angry with something that you felt you are being treated unjustly, and you can't sleep at night, you can sit up, open your computer, you can start typing in, and you can start that process and not just being angry yourself at her and lost your sleeps. Now, in that process, who can we, the other party. My first question about the other party is that if I am that friend the person that you just said, that believe that I owe him $1,000, when how will I receive any kind of notice? And it's almost like being served.
That's right. You will have to serve. You'll have to make sure the other party gets the notice served, and they will have time to respond. So
who will do that?
They will need to go into the Civil Resolution Tribunal themselves and file a response.
and then tell them that from now on you are, I'm not suing, but you are involved with this process.
That's right, with this dispute.
Can we sue the government?
That's,
If we have a dispute with the government?
Yeah, I'm not sure that we can sue the government on this one. I think it's got to be between people or corporations, but not the government.
I read the website, and it says you cannot you cannot involve that with the government because the government is in charge of this process.
That's right. So
however, it was quite interesting. It was clearly, which we know, but a lot of citizens were surprised to see that local government is not defined as government legally. It is not. So if you have a dispute with the city of Vancouver or city of Richmond, you can file it in the tribunal. So my question is, recently, if people think that they are not being justly treated for that 1% empty house tax imposed on them, can they go to the tribunal? Will the tribunal accept it because that is highly political, but not only highly political, but it's also really stepped onto the city of Vancouver's the government. But according to the website, you can.
Well, so this is a city matter, so it's not one that I've been closely involved with, but it may be that the city has its own dispute resolution coming out of that. They will, I think, likely have a process which they say your house is empty and you can say, no, it's not empty, and here's the proof that it's not. So there will be a process that the city will have. So I think this is more the kind of thing that I was talking to you about, the small civil claim, you know, the car, the damage that's been caused by somebody's broken something, a mischief claim. Those kinds of things are things that are very readily suited to the Civil Resolution Tribunal. If any one of our audiences watch the Judge Judy, that program, that is mostly that kind of case that will go there. For other cases, the jurisdictions and the legal process will help. There are a lot of tribunals too, don't forget, that are already out there. There's one that many people will be familiar with is landlord and tenant. Now, that has a whole separate process. There's labor relations. There's all kinds of tribunals out there in the world. This is a new one. Let me say a couple of more things about this, which is that people are very interested around the world in the Civil Resolution Tribunal. It's extremely innovative. We are the only place in the world that has it because it's part of the public justice system. So if you get an order at the end of that adjudication, you can file that order in court, and it's an order of the court. There's nowhere else in the world doing this. And that's why people from Australia are watching us, people from England are watching us, everyone across Canada is watching us. The system has a lot of advantages. It's very accessible, as I said. It's inexpensive. You can do it in your own time. It frees up court time. Court time is very expensive. And it allows the courts to deal with more complicated issues, which are more suited to a courtroom.
So, because it is online, people are talking to the computer. It's really, as you said, it's really a new thing. So, if I don't trust it and I refuse to accept it, or the tribunals, at the end when they come up with a decision, I dispute it. I don't like it. Can I go back to the normal channel and do it? Well, yes, it's binding.
Yes and no. On the strata, there is no normal channel. This is the first and only channel for minor strata disputes. So you will have to be in the Civil Resolution Tribunal for those. The things that will still go to Supreme Court and strata are sometimes you want to sell the whole strata property, for instance. Those kinds of very complex land issues, they'll stay in the Supreme Court. The more minor things, though, will be in the Civil Resolution Tribunal. On the small claims, the car that the guy sold you, You can take that into the provincial court afterwards. You'll have to start the whole process all over again, and it will cost you some money. Our goal on this is to make it mandatory. It's not going to be mandatory from the day it opens, but it will become mandatory. So that if you want to deal with your minor civil dispute, it is in the Civil Resolution Tribunal.
Now, how long has this been operating?
The strata started last year. The small claims is going to start very soon.
Good. So just now you said that it is a very interesting process when you give me the number earlier. Approximately 3,000 went through the first stage,
Yes.
215 went through the second stage, and just a few
Have come out the end. Yes.
come at the end. That means it's also clarified people, imagine this go through the court, how much money we have wasted.
Yes.
So I think that is something, from a very practical point of view, that is something that we should be promoting. But there's a lot of details, and I can tell, we are showing you the website. And there's a lot of information there, including how much you need to pay for steps. I think it's just a few, it's less than $100 or just a few $100s. I think that is something that I hope our audience will use it. Now, our program is coming to, time is up. 2 minutes with all the things that you've just said. Election is coming. What do you want to tell our audience?
So I was fortunate to be elected nearly 4 years ago now as the BC Liberal MLA for Vancouver-Fraserview, and it has been just such a terrific honor to be the representative for the riding. It's very multicultural. I'm sure many of your viewers live in Fraserview. It's the southeast of the city. So I've been able to do many things for Fraserview, to find the extra money for the senior center, which is now going to be built, thanks to the advocacy of so many seniors in the neighborhood. We have a new school coming at Kingsford Smith, or a seismic renovation rather of Kingsford Smith. Sir Sanford Fleming is going to get a brand new school. We've been able to build new playgrounds to help people with other things in the riding. And then of course, just to serve people as they come through the door. I'm running again, we're knocking on doors, we're finding voters, we're listening to people. It is a terrific thing, and I really love what I do, to be the MLA of Vancouver-Fraserview and to be the Attorney General and Justice Minister in the province of British Columbia. It's a wonderful honor. I serve with Premier Christy Clark, best team in the country, province of British Columbia, strongest economy, lowest unemployment, best education outcomes, best health outcomes. We are in a great place.
Yes, thank you, and good luck. Work harder. Thank you very much. 我哋周一長談今日到此為止，多謝大家收睇。我係 BC Lee 黎拔佳，下次見。